Okay, good morning, everybody. How are you today? Good. So, I think as usual, everybody is prepared with a report, and today a response. A response to Shakespeare's sonnet, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? So, as usual, we are going to listen to one or two reports and perhaps a response. After that, I'm going to ask you like general questions about your response to the poem. Then we'll have something about Shakespeare, like Amal will give a brief biography about Shakespeare. And then we are going to start explaining the poem. After that, I would be giving you like two readers of the song. The poem. One is going to be sung, and the other is going to be recited. And after that, you'll be left to compare and contrast between the two, and to say which one you prefer and why. Okay? So this is our agenda for today's class. Let's see who is ready to report. Yes?
So it's like a small poem.
Okay.
I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for. Maybe everything, and maybe nothing. May I'm looking for the moon between the clouds. May I'm looking for the stars. May I'm looking for a child face with a small smile. Or may I'm looking for a white rose with a beautiful smell. May I'm looking for a loyal friend. May I'm looking for myself, my mind and my heart. Or may I'm looking for everything. So, if we're searching something, we will find everything.
Thank you very much. Maybe, it's a report, like she is recording her feelings. It seems she is at loss. She doesn't know exactly what she wants to do, but I'm sure she knows what she's going to do with Shakespeare's poem. She has to respond to Shakespeare's poem, yes? Okay, it's good like to try to write in verse. Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum. The last lecture was interesting, wonderful, and very useful because we make comparison and contrast between the two poems, Marlowe's poem and the answer of Marlowe's biorelay, in themes, rhyme, rhythm, figure of speech, etc. So it was interesting, especially after the short vacation at the last week, which include hot and important events. First, the exchange prisoners deal between the resistance and Israel, which brought the happiness and pleasure to every house in Palestine. We felt as the day of Eid. Another important event, the falling of Libyan president by the revolution. At the end of the lecture, D.أكرم asked us to write a reflection about the two poems and to prepare the new poem, which is written by the greatest English writer, William Shakespeare. Which Al-Gaddafi said about him, he is from Arabian origin. And
it's good like to link Gaddafi, because Gaddafi kept saying, Shakespeare, هذا شيخ زبير بيقول أنا Shakespeare. This is what he kept saying,
And his name Sheikh Zubair, and the English people change his name and also translate all his work into English language.
So Gaddafi was busying himself with small things like this, But it's okay. Thank you for linking Gaddafi with Shakespeare, Good. Now, I need a nice response. A response like to the poem, Yes? Just quick before I come down to you and see your response to the poem and to the poet. Yes?
Comparing his beloved to a summer day, describing her in a beautiful way, she is more fascinating than May, when the sun dimmed by clouds or shade, and every beautiful thing eventually fade. She will never suffer the same fate. Everything will change by chance or by the natural course of decay, but her eternal beauty shall stay. For as long as a human live and breathe with eyes that can see, this is how long this verse will be.
Okay, thank you. So you believe in Shakespeare, huh? You believe in Shakespeare. You think that, yeah, we can do nothing to perpetuate the memory of the people we highly honor, we highly like, so we can do something about this. And this is like the spirit of Shakespeare's like poem, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? Okay, let me ask you about like your response. I know like a lot of you want to read, but because of like time, I have to see like how you responded. How did you find the poem? Was it interesting? Not interesting? Should we continue reading Shakespeare or not? I don't know. Like, yes, what can you tell me? Yes, please.
This poem reflects his confidence because he thinks that his poetry and his lines is the source of life.
Yes.
And immortality.
So this, yeah, you're right. Like this poem, you think it reflects like how, he was self-confident of himself and of his poetry. Why? Because he thought that. Why do you think he was self-confident?
He thought it is the source of life and immortality for his friends and his relationships and the life.
Okay, so I think it is because he thought he cherished his poetry. He cherished his poetry. He thought that his poetry was great, good. Yes, like other people, like who will respond. Who will respond to this poem? Yes, what do you think? Have you read the poem? Okay, tell me like how you felt. These people like know that I'm busy. I'm leaving today early, but they are worried like I'm not responding. Good. So yes, what do you feel like? How you felt? Yes, please. Exaggeration. You think that Shakespeare is exaggerating?
Because you think he is this poetry will be immortalized, but there is another powerful poet.
So you don't trust Shakespeare. You think like there is something greater than Shakespeare's verse.
Something powerful than his poetry.
Yeah, this is like, what is more powerful than his poetry? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Death itself.
Okay. Death is, okay, it is powerful, but it is not, as powerful as his verse, But you think, Allah, Quran is immortal, it's the word of Allah. Okay? Good. Yes, I don't know, did you feel like the poem was difficult?
No.
Okay, it was easy? Good. So what was he up to? What did he want to say exactly? What did he want to say? What did he want to say? Yes?
That his beloved is more beautiful than a summer day, and even if that.
How do you know she's his beloved? Some critics say it was his friend.
Yeah.
So, how do you say it was his beloved? What makes you think? I know because we are reading, like.
Can exaggerate that much only if he loved someone, like a friend.
Yeah, but it could be a friend. Like there was an argument about, like he was talking to a friend. Okay, what about this side? Yes, what do you think? It seems like you have not read the poem. Yes. So again, yes, what do you think?
I think he wants to immortalize his beauty inside him.
So do you like the way he wanted to immortalize the beauty of his friend?
No.
Why?
Like they said, he's
Exaggerating. So the poem is full of hyperbole, like you don't, believe what Shakespeare is saying. Okay, yes, I think, do we have another response, like to the poem, to the form, to the questions, to the images, before? Yes.
at the beginning of the book,
I don't know to whom, but I think it's to God if he is.
Yes, he asked a rhetorical question, you know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He was able to compare his friend or his beloved to the summer or a summer day. Can he do it, and is he going to do it perfectly? He doesn't know, but he did it anyway because he loved or he cared about his friend or his beloved, and he wants to show that to everyone.
Okay, yes. I think, you know, he started the poem by a rhetorical question. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And the poem is tricky. But I don't want like to go through the poem until like we know something about the poet, we know something about Shakespeare. I know you studied Shakespeare, you studied some of his plays, but it is very important like to know, you know, something more. You have in the reader like his his biography, but here Amal is coming like to tell us something about his biography. Yes, now, before we start.
I think it is safe to say that William Shakespeare is probably the only poet. I think it is safe to say that Shakespeare is probably the only poet in the entire wide world that does not need any kind of any definition. Just speak his name, and his name speaks for all of his contributions and all of his work. But for the sake of the class, I will say some brief thing about him. William Shakespeare is, of course, a poet, a playwright, and one of the most prominent characters, poets in the English literature. He wrote 38 plays, among which Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, and a lot of other plays. He wrote 154 sonnets, and they were all they are very famous for him. Shakespeare, at the beginning of his life, he started as an actor and a playwright. He used to act in this theater. It's called the Globe, and here I have some pictures for it.
So the Globe is a theater in Stratford-upon-Avon. Yes. It's a nice place where, like, you have a river, Stratford-upon-Avon, and he was living near the Globe, in fact. Yes.
His plays at the beginning used to be comedies and about history. I think because the Queen ordered that, she wanted something for fun, like comedies. But then they became more sophisticated and more, profound, and they became tragedies. We all know his style. Shakespeare is known for the blank verse, and he always uses iambic pentameter, and that is pretty. I
think he borrowed the blank verse from whom? From
Christopher Marlowe.
No, not Christopher Marlowe. If you remember,
Spencer?
The one who invented the blank verse was, Henry Howard Earl of Surrey. Shakespeare made use of that by, most of his plays were written in iambic pentameter. But I don't know, like you said, he was an actor and he was writing plays. Mm-hmm. But then how did he come to write poetry?
I don't know actually.
Okay, I think in 1592 and 94, the theaters closed down because there was plague.
Yes.
The plague,
mm-hmm.
and during this period, he wrote the 154 sonnets, and I think he addressed 126 to a young man, and one or 26 to the Dark Lady, and 2 poems, they were not addressed to anybody. But he was his sonnets were amazing by the rhyme, the rhythm, the images, and so on.
That's it. I mean, his personal life is some sort of a secret. There are a lot of questions about his life, his religion, his some of his sonnets are not known. Who are they addressed to? And that's it. He doesn't have a lot to talk about.
I'd like to read the poem for you aloud, and after that, you're going to listen to 2 versions of the song. Okay, I bet you read it aloud yourself. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and off is his old complexion dimmed, and every fur from fur sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag that wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long they live this, and this gives life to thee. Okay? So, like in a minute, you'll be listening like to the two virgins, and I wish like after that you see which appeal to you more, which is appeal to you and why. Okay? So I wish you good luck with watching it. Thank you very much, and next time we'll continue. Okay?
lives this, and this gives life.
So now that you have watched both poems and how they were recited, which one do you think suits more the atmosphere of the poem? Which one did you like?
I like the first one. She should use clouds to the
So the first one. What about you?
The first one is like more emotional and more transparent. Completely transfer the theme, the emotion to the listener correctly. But the second one is like delivering a speech.
Yes. Okay.
I like the second one because I felt that Shakespeare himself recited it. The way, the voice, and give me that.
Okay, interesting.
Also, as she said, I prefer the first because it is too emotional and make us to living inside the atmosphere of the poem. And but the other one, I think it is it does not have feelings and it is not emotional.
It's like he was just reading the poem.
Yeah. Yes, the first is more musical and touch our heart. But the second, I feel as if it is a ceremony or something.
Yes. Any other opinions? So, like, who likes the first one? Show of hands. Okay, the second. You're the only one. I personally like the first one too. It's more musical, more, I don't know, emotional. Shows everything, like what he thought here. He's talking about love, and he wants to compare his loves to a summer day and stuff like that. So, and that's it. Thank you.